Want to get away from it all? To forget about taxes and grocery bills? Here's one place where you can, on the rivers and lakes of Nova Scotia. Here to help make it an experience you'll never forget is your own Nova Scotia guide, trained from boyhood in the ways of the outdoors. He's a good companion, as well as an expert canoeman, woodsman, and cook. No matter if you've never been in a canoe before or have no knowledge of what life is like out in the open, your holiday will turn into a real adventure as your guide takes you into a different sort of world. He'll take you over lakes and rivers, the old water highways of the Micmac Indians. Along the way, you'll find plenty of fish for the frying pan. And paddling far into the quiet places of the out of doors, you may be saluted by a beaver who whacks his tail and disappears. Or by a graceful deer. And at the end of the day, the biggest appetite you ever had meets the tastiest meal you ever ate. At sunset, just one more try for trout for breakfast. Then to bed on fragrant evergreen boughs, skillfully fashioned by your guide, who is truly a master of every branch of woodcraft. Yes, Nova Scotia's guides are experts, each ready to stake his reputation as a woodsman. Every summer, they pitch their tents for a week to compete in all the arts and crafts of life in the open. Officially, it's the Nova Scotia Guides Meet. There are women guides, too. Mrs. Tony of the Micmac scorns the tent for a shelter of evergreen boughs. In fact, all the guides use the building materials supplied by nature. For even if you have a tent, how could you make a better floor? Or a softer, more fragrant bed than one of fir boughs. Fireplace is the heart of the camp, and Clarence Oitel builds his carefully, wide and deep, and close enough to keep the tent warm and cozy, whatever the weather. And Jim McLeod, veteran of the guides and champion of many meets gone by, puts his table together with roots. And he uses them to fashion his pail and basin of birch bark. Yes, there is pleasure in the know-how to live in the open. So the guides, their families, and others too, camp for a solid week of fun and friendly rivalry that finds its outlet in competitions of skill and brawn. Watch. He hits the target every time. Man, that's real shooting. Nova Scotia's guides are expert casters, too. And here, a cast of 328 feet, a record breaker. And he's a visitor, too. Casting is a fisherman's art, and his particular specialty. Not as easy as it looks. Next, sawing contest. They can cut through a 10-inch log in 6 1/4 seconds. And who says women can't handle a saw? When it comes to chopping, a guide and a sharp axe really make the chips fly through a 10-inch log to the tune of 31 1/4 seconds. Now, in that ancient art of boiling water, women should have the inside track here. Mrs. Tony means business as she whittles sasswood. That's the secret of starting a quick fire. But no, it doesn't look good for Mrs. Tony. Fickle Lady Luck looks the other way. Beaten by a man. Too bad, Mrs. Tony. The time, 3 minutes and 39 seconds. But the girls aren't through yet. They know how to roll a log, too. Balance and keeping on one's own end of the log. That is the secret of log burling. For Mr. Hank and Mrs. Spank, it's a full dress occasion, and they really put on a show. Now into the drink, clothes and all. Look at the fine balance here. Will they ever fall off? When it comes to handling a canoe, the guides know all the wrinkles. Watch them round those boys in the single canoe race. But it's a lot harder to turn a canoe from the bow. Ever try it? And look, they're astride the gunnels. It's a double gunnel canoe race. Try this for an extra thrill someday. Getting out of a canoe and back in again without upsetting is a real feat, but the guides can do it and prove it in the canoe rescue race. Next, the canoe tilt, guaranteed to give somebody a ducking. Looks easy, doesn't it? But one wrong move, and you're through, and wet. Watch these canoes now. On they come. No, sir, no arms, no paddles. The mobility of the canoe depends entirely on the movement of the body. It's beautiful and rhythmic. And now the biggest event of all, the four-man canoe race. There's power and speed for you. And so it goes, all day, all week. The games, the contests, the friendly rivalry of the outdoors. But best of all is the close of day, when guides and friends gather around the tents. With them, tomorrow's guides, the children, learning all the ways and voices of the forest, like the call of the moose. Then, fires are built for an unforgettable supper, thanks to a ravenous appetite and the smell of wood smoke. And finally, long evenings around the campfire, when stories are told of a black bear they couldn't catch, of the biggest moose in Queens County, of the 45-pound salmon, of the dog that talked and 100 other tales. Yes, you can leave all your worries behind when out in the open with a Nova Scotian guide.